These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
The Leadoff Man, brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
Moving south on the Kennedy Expressway, this billboard sums it all up. Baseball Wars of Chicago, Part 2. The Cubs and White Sox here on the south side this time at U.S. Cellular Field. A breezy, cool second day of summer here, but a good game on tap as usual. You can say what you want about these two teams may be struggling, but never boring here. The Cubs and Sox meet in Chicago. I'm Rich King sitting in for Dan Roan. Mentioned a cool, cloudy, breezy day, but good baseball weather. Carlos Zambrano faces Mark Burley. Big series for both teams. Sox, of course, struggling. The Cubs, though, in the hunt in their division, have to get some wins going. They lost 4 of their last 5, and 2, including 2 of 3 in Texas. So it's time to get going. They find themselves 8.5 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers. Okay, the last series on the north side earlier in May. The Cubs took it 2 out of 3. In the first game, Michael Barrett led the way. Of course, Barrett since departed for San Diego. He slams a home run there, and the Cubs won the opener by a score of 6-3. Then drama in Game 2. Derek Lee, back from the wrist injury, coming in there and pumping one out. A pinch hit, grand slam, and the Cubs won Game 2, 11-6, as Derek, the big blow, took a bow there. That set the stage for a sweep, but the Sox came back in Game 3 thanks to the bat of A.J. Pierzynski. He slams one, a grand slam himself. The Sox won that one by a score of 10-6. The Cubs scored 23 runs in that series, though. Pretty good production against that White Sox staff. Now, since then, though, these teams are the hard teams. The Sox have fallen 10 games under 500 with that horrible 19 of 24 loss streak. They have fallen down to almost the bottom categories in every offensive category in the American League. Cubs have also struggled, but the Cubs still in the race in their division thanks to the Milwaukee Brewers and the rest of that division. But the stage is set here. I mentioned never boring baseball. Maybe not the best baseball all the time, but never boring. And let's set the stage with the two skippers, beginning with Ozzie Guillen.
Right now, it seems like nothing worked for us. I mean, because if you look in the field and say, wow, at least this guy is hot. At least this guy throws the ball well. At least, I think the only guy who was pretty good was Bobby, and he gave it up. He gave it a couple of runs a couple of days ago. But it's nothing right now. I think it's nothing going. This ball club is, I don't see anything there. It's going pretty good for us. Only one thing we see every day is somebody hurt. Somebody in the training room. But besides that, we don't have any positive thing yet.
Is this the kind of series that can give this team an emotional lift that it needs?
Maybe to the hope for the player, to me, is another one. I will be treating, obviously, the enthusiasm, the electricity in the ballpark, it keeps you going. But we don't miss that. We have people in the ballpark before this series. I think this series is fun. It's not that, it's fun. But I will treat this series like another one.
It's a nice ballpark. I remember when our Seattle teams in here, the playoffs and so forth. But no, this is like any other ballpark.
How important is it to put a winning streak together?
I think it's important for anybody, any team, ours included. I mean, we've had our ups and downs. And actually, we've had a few more downs than ups. And, that's not good. But these guys are playing hard. We're in just about every game that we play, and they can go either way. And I think sooner or later they'll start going our way. A lot of close games.
Okay, that's how the skippers see it. Now up to the broadcast booth for Len Casper and Bob Brenly, the Cub broadcast team. We'll see how they see this ball game here today against the White Sox. Guys?
Summer, as you mentioned, a little bit cool and breezy today, overcast skies, and as Lou talked about all the close games, and Bob, it seems like we watch the Cubs outplay, out-hit opponents, and don't always come up with a win. That's got to start changing.
It definitely has to start changing. Earlier this year, I think it was more a problem of fundamental mistakes, throwing to the wrong base, not moving runners up, doing the little things necessary to win game. That's improved drastically over the last few weeks. The thing that's missing is the home run ball. We talked about it going all the way back to Arizona. This was a team that was built to bang, and so far that big bang in the offense hasn't been there.
We're also going to see a few Cubs who have never been a part of this series. A lot of young guys. You talked to Rob Bowen on the pregame show, and this will be a little different atmosphere than they're used to.
Well, this is as close to a playoff atmosphere as you get without actually being in the playoffs. Certainly the fans are deeply into this series. The players try to downplay it, but I think once they get on the field between the lines, they feel that energy coming from the stands. They can't help but get caught up in it.
Now, Ramos Ramirez back, and as the designated hitter, that helps the Cubs offense. But the White Sox do have the advantage here because Carlos Zambrano not in the offensive lineup.
Yeah, it seems kind of funny to be missing the pitcher's bat in the lineup, but it'll be all right. Ramos Ramirez getting an opportunity to get back in the lineup. Hopefully he'll give the ball club a little bit of an offensive spark, and you just hope Z does his job on the mound.
All right, Rich, we're coordinated. It's coincidental, but we have the Cubby Blue on today. Back to you.
Okay, let me ask you, Bob, a question about Rob Bowen, Bob, the catching it first time for Zambrano. What do you do when you handle a pitcher for the first time?
Well, you got to do a lot of homework. First of all, I'm sure Rob Bowen's seen a lot of video. He's talked to Coy Hill. He's talked to Henry Blanco. He's talked to Carlos himself, just trying to get a feel for what pitches Carlos likes to go to in certain situations. And Rob Bowen's caught enough Major League games. I'm sure he'll do just fine.
Okay, Bob, thanks a lot. Of course, later on, we'll be hearing from Rob Bowen with Bob Brenly also a bit later on in the show. Back after a break, more on the leadoff man, the Cubs and the White Sox, right around the corner, right here on WGN TV. Stay with us.
Doctor, could you sign these, please?
To my two biggest fans.
On the next Scrubs.
Brilliant. Nothing, sir. Anyone could have made that call.
It's a matter of life.
You told me I'd be dead by now.
Well, you're not. So sue me.
I am.
And death.
I chucked it on my patient.
How is that guy doing?
Not great.
Oh, and a lawsuit.
Oh, come on. A good lawyer couldn't win this case.
Next Scrubs. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Well, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Planning on making it worth my while?
Scrubs. Weeknights at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Well, I think this is the perfect time, playing against the Sox, and the team struggled a little bit, and Texas and I guess San Diego the last two series. So for me to come back, this is the perfect time to do it.
And the fans here on the south side have a chance to see Ramos Ramirez back in the lineup. He, of course, been out with a knee injury for the Chicago Cubs. Back today, and the Cubs glad to have his big bat back in the lineup. Okay, back here on leadoff man. It's been a crazy June for the Cubs. I mean, you've had players fighting themselves, Zambrano and Barrett, dirt kicking on the umpire. It's been a wild, wild swing here in June. Let's take a look back and see how it's played out for the Chicago Cubs.
That's tough. That is tough to see.
Pagan toward third, the throw. Got him. And here's Lou.
This could be the one.
There it is, number one, the first ejection as a Cubs manager for Lou Piniella, and he is really letting Mark Wegner have it. High in the air, well hit by DeRosa. Great slam! Diving stop by Ramirez. Throw to first. They got him. What a play. Deep to left field for Soriano. Three-run shot. I think we're starting to see the real Alfonso Soriano. He is now homered in 3 consecutive games. That's a huge one. Drives it deep to right. Francour's back on the warning track. He's at the wall. Deep to left. We'll get back into that in a second. Soriano with his second home run tonight. Oh, deep left field. Number 3 tonight. So he's a third of the way to your projection of 9.
Well, he didn't get that at bat back in the third inning, so that's thrown him off schedule for his 9-homer game.
Carlos Lee's going to watch it. Gone! A home run. Number 2 on the year, number 12 in his career. Deep left field. Cruz back on it. And he's saying it hit the basket. The ball did bounce straight down. I believe it stayed in. Cliff Floyd on the warning track, and he's going to leap. Can't find it. Is he going to reach in and pick it up? Yep, he did find it. Fontenot lifts it in the air. Deep left center field. Ball carrying. Still going back. Into the basket. A home run. Oh, baby. Deep to left again. Cruz already giving up. Gone. Oh, Derek got hit by a pitch. Oh, no, here we go. Derek Lee and Chris Young. And now, Lou Piniella getting in the middle here, trying to keep the peace. High drive by Sammy the other way. Jock Jones going back near the bullpen, and there it is, number 600 for Sammy Sosa.
And so there you see a 10-10 record. Did I say not boring earlier? Well, the Cubs have not been boring, but that record has to be better to catch the Milwaukee Brewers. Right now, the Cubs I mentioned 8.5 games out. They're going to make some ground up. A good time to begin this weekend for them against the White Sox here. A 10-10 record in June. Wild time. Okay, I mentioned earlier Rob Bowen, the newest Cub, catching today. And let's check in with Bob Brenly again with the new man.
It's our pleasure to be joined today before Game 1 of the Crosstown Series by the newest Cub catcher, Rob Bowen. And Rob, anytime a player gets traded from one team to another, there's going to be an adjustment period. But being a catcher, you've got a lot more things to learn than just an outfielder or somebody else.
Yeah, you know, it's a little more involved process than coming over here, especially during the midseason, like you said. Biggest thing is just sitting down with some pitchers, learning some tendencies that they have. And, you know, it's a just probably around a week or so, just trying to get a feel. And, you know, just make sure they're comfortable with me as well.
You talk a lot about the catcher's fraternity. Once you put that gear on, you're part of that fraternity. How much of a help has Coy Hill been to you?
He's been huge. I sat down with him in Texas, you know, just kind of go over some things that the organization's about, some of the pitchers like to do and whatnot. So he's been a huge experience. And then Henry Blanco's in here also, even on the DL here, been helping me out a little bit.
Came over from San Diego. Unfortunately, there was the nasty dust-up right before the trade. I don't want you to rat out any of your old teammates or anything, but what was the feeling in the clubhouse after the game for you guys?
You know, our biggest thing is, you know, it was a little hot out there that day. Emotions were going. We had 2 great pitchers that were throwing that day, and you know, just got a little bit thrown out, a little bit out of hand. But you know, once it's over, it's over. We didn't hold a grudge one bit, and you know, next thing, a couple days later, I'm over here, so I'm ready to play for these guys now.
I think the biggest surprise for everybody, and yeah, certainly you know Chris Young a lot better than we do, but by all reports, he's a stand-up, decent guy, and Derek Lee as you now know, is the same way. I think it was a surprise to everybody.
Yeah, definitely they're both the same, mild-mannered kind of guy. And, just got a little bit heated. I totally understand the way D. Lee was coming across. It was never good having like that. But at the same time, we were trying to come in a little bit. And ball just got away a little bit. So.
Very valuable commodity, a switch-hitting catcher. When did you start switch-hitting?
I started back when I was 16 years old, back sophomore in high school. So I thought it would help my draft status coming into the draft in '99 and everything. So fortunately, it's worked out.
It's worked out very well for you. And talking about the catching fraternity once again, was there a particular coach or several coaches that helped you out as you were coming up through the minor leagues or in college or in high school?
Yeah, one of the biggest ones was John Russell back in Minnesota. He caught one of Nolan Ryan's no-hitters, I believe, and everything. So he helped me out a lot. And Stan Clybourne was one of the other guys that was in the organization that he was actually a manager for me a couple of years. So, those guys helped me a lot.
Well, Rob, continued success here with the Cubs, and have some fun with your first go-round with the White Sox here.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to it. This is a great rivalry, a national rivalry here, so you read all about it, so it's great to be a part of it.
Thanks, Rob.
No problem. My pleasure.
Okay, Bob, thanks a lot. There's some of the fans gathered here, the Cubs and White Sox, and these Zambrano and Burley coming up later on. A conversation with the Cub boss, Jim Hendry, right around the corner. So stay with us here on the Leadoff Man Show.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice. A clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polish or wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Try new Turtle Wax Ice Liquid Clay Bar to deep clean and restore your car's finish in one easy step.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going and going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avodart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avodart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avodart.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
No matter who's against it.
I just don't think that he can take care of you. We can take care of each other.
Believe the love in your heart.
I wonder who thought up sex in the first place.
I think it was Madonna.
The other sister.
Saturday at 4 Eastern.
I'm definitely looking forward to today. I know in the past I've been here for the BP sessions, before the series, and then I've gotten sent down. So, I'm pretty happy to be a part of it today. And this is one of the big ones. When we watch TV, there's certain games you really want to watch, and it's definitely the rivalry series. So, Crosstown Rivals also definitely a good one.
Some of the young guys, Mike Fontenot, pumped up about this game against the White Sox today. Cubs and White Sox, game one of the series right around the corner here on WGN. Let's get a perspective, though, from the top of the Cubs brass. Jim Hendry, of course, the boss, calls all the shots here. Up to the back of the broadcast booth, Len Casper with the Cubs boss. Len?
Rich, thanks very much. Jim, 71 in, 91 to go. I know the record is nowhere near where you would like to see it. How would you assess your club so far?
Well, and it's really it's been a little disappointing where we're at. I think we all know we have a lot better ball club than we played.
have played and feel like we should have won, 10 to 15 more ball games. And every club goes through that, and you can look back at a lot of losses if you're any club and think, we should have won that, we should have won that. But I think our club realistically knows that we've let a lot of ball games slip away, ball games that we could have and should have won. And we've got to get going here. We've got a chance here the next couple weeks to maybe close the gap a little bit on Milwaukee, who's have weathered the storm on a bad stretch they had. And we felt like we should have made up more ground than we did. So we got a tough series here. We got a great club coming in hot right now in Colorado, really hot. And then we've got the Brewers. So hopefully we'll look up in about 2 weeks and maybe we've cut the margin in half.
Can you explain the process, the Barrett-Bowen trade? Rob's in the lineup again today catching Carlos.
Well, Bowen's a guy that, I know people that don't know him as a household name don't realize this, but he's a guy that we've liked for a long time. Way back even to his amateur days in Indiana. He's a very, very good catcher defensively. We think he's still got some improvement in there in the bat. And we all like Michael Barrett a lot. And for a couple of years there, he played very, very well for us. Tremendous guy in the clubhouse. He really is to his teammates. Loves to win. Put a lot of pressure on himself. And really became one of the better offensive catchers in the league. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of a regression this year defensively. And we felt like that with what was at stake right now, that we needed the better defense right now than his offense. So that's why we made the move.
How's Henry doing? I talked to him briefly. Sounded like he threw a little bit today, but it's a very slow process with the neck, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's a very unfortunate injury. We'd love to have Henry right now. We think he'd be a real good complement with Bowen. And he just hasn't been physically able to catch like he did last year. Even when he played, he wasn't the same guy that we saw last year. Arguably one of the best defensive catchers in the game. It's really a slow process. I know he's had a lot of treatment. I think he's had some injections, in the area. Hopefully over the next couple weeks he'll get better. But there is a chance that he'll have to have a procedure if it doesn't get better here in the next probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Seems like every single year you look at the 25-man opening day roster, and I say to myself, I wonder how long we'll go before you see a change or two. It's a constant flux sort of situation. Another roster move today, and you just have to be on your toes and ready for the next move. You hate to see injuries. Unfortunately, they do happen. And then you have performance issues, too.
Absolutely. You're right. And the good thing about the roster moves, we have had the ability with some flexibility in the system now to bring guys up that have performed very, very well. We're very happy the way Fontenot's performed. Felix PA has come up and held his own. And at one point a week or two ago, I think we had 8 of our 12 pitchers were from our minor league system originally. So that's the good news. The unfortunate thing is we've lost too many ball games, and we've got a lot of guys that hopefully will pick it up. Hopefully Ramirez coming back. We'll be able to gel with Derek Lee and Cliff Floyd against most right-handed pitchers and get this lineup going and start knocking in the runs that we're leaving out there.
I said the other day, thank goodness for the appeals process because Derek Lee has been as hot as he's been all year. As a general manager, there's some uncertainty. You don't exactly know when that appeal will be heard. You don't know when Derek's going to sit out. But again, with Ramirez out, it was key to have Derek in that lineup.
Yeah, and we really haven't had the two of them, a lot, obviously, the last couple weeks. And then Cliff started to swing the bat well, before his father got real ill. And when we left Milwaukee a few weeks ago, we thought that combination of the three of them together was going to work pretty well. And then it got broken up right away after that. So hopefully we'll put a little run together here, get back in it. Our hats are off to the Brewers. They've played great baseball, very deserving to be where they're at. But we still feel we can make a run at them.
All right, thanks, Jim. We appreciate the time. And let's hope for a sweep this weekend. I know it won't be easy.
No, it's a tough place to play. Hopefully we can get our share of wins.
Thanks, Jim. And Rich, back to you.
Okay, Lynn, thank you very much. First pitch right around the corner, about 10 minutes away. Cubs and White Sox and Brown and Burley. But let's set the stage for the Cubs lineup with a very, very special guest.
Hello out there, Cubs fans. This is Tom Otis, Hellman, the Cubs equipment manager. They couldn't find anybody else to do the lineup today, so here I am. Leading off is Alfonso Soriano playing left field. Batting second, Mike Fontenot playing second base. Our big guy, D. Lee, is our first baseman today, and back in the lineup after a couple weeks off is Aramis Ramirez, and he's going to DH. And then playing third base is Mark DeRosa. Our new catcher, who we picked up this week, Rob Bowen, will be catching. Our right fielder is Angel Pagan, and our center fielder is Felix P.A. Our shortstop and batting ninth is Cesar Izturis, and the big guy is going to be on the mound today, Carlos Zambrano. Let's go get him.
Where's the Bud Light?
So let's Polo!
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
That's cold.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
We got just what you need to keep your yard beautiful and weed-free. Let's start with fertilizer.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right, start here.
Just think about it. Get it?
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Well, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Plan on making this worth my while?
Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
The Leadoff Man has been brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
And the stage just about set here. Cubs and White Sox, game one right around the corner. And a good day for baseball. It'll be Carlos Urbano for the Cubs. I guess Mark Worley for the White Sox. Should be a great series. As I mentioned, always fireworks here when these two teams meet. So sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the afternoon. I'm Rich King sitting in for Dan Rowan, leadoff man. Thanks for being with us. Baseball coming up here on WGN TV.
Because Geico sounds like gecko. That's it. That's the only reason I'm here. The fact is, if Geico sounded like some other animal, like, I don't know, a puma, sure enough, there'd be some adorable little cat sitting here talking about Geico's low rates.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You can't even imagine the pressure. I mean, I've literally got like 2 seconds to capture your attention while simultaneously informing you that you could save hundreds on car insurance by switching to Geico. Quite frankly, I don't think it's even possible.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Courier, turn to the experts.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Today, the Crosstown Series resumes on the south side of town as the Cubs are back in Chicago to, quote, continue their road trip. And after dropping 2 of 3 in Texas, they now open up a 3-game set here at U.S. Cellular Field, a late Friday afternoon of interleague baseball. The Cubs and the White Sox here on WGN Sports. Welcome to Cubs baseball today. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper, and both these teams welcoming back big parts of their offense from the disabled list. Aramis Ramirez will DH today, and Darren Erstad will lead off for the White Sox.
And I'm sure both ball clubs are hoping to get a jump start from the players returning from the disabled list. Darren Erstad, a guy with a high-energy player. He can steal a base. He gets on base a lot, and hopefully that will jumpstart the White Sox offense. Aramis Ramirez with that big power bat, hopefully some big fly balls for the Cubs.
He's cleaning up today for the Cubs, and again, as the designated hitter. Carlos Zambrano doesn't get a chance to hit today, but as long as he keeps pitching the way he has, that'll be fine.
Well, in his self-proclaimed second season, he has been really, really good. His last 3 games, a 2-1 record. You see the ERA, the opponent's batting average. This looks more like the Carlos Zambrano of old.
Mark Burley has played the stopper for the White Sox. He has ended losing streaks in each of his last 2 starts.
He's one of those frustrating finesse pitchers. He'll work the corners. He'll cut the ball in on the righties. The Cubs have to be very patient, make sure they get good pitches to hit.
Cubs have struggled, but the White Sox struggling even more. They haven't won back-to-back games in a month. So we're ready to go. Game 1 of this big interleague series. We'll have Cubs baseball from the south side next.
Okay, I've been working on this plan for 3 years, and today's the day. Okay. Every Friday, the same Bud Light delivery guy takes the same route past us. Okay. You're the only one who can make the leap. Okay. When I say go, you jump over, grab some Bud Light, and jump back. Okay. Here he comes. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and go.
What'd you say?
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Seriously, what'd you say?
That's cold.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Doctor, could you sign these, please?
To my 2 biggest fans.
On the next Scrubs.
Brilliant. Nothing, sir. Anyone could have made that call.
It's a matter of life.
You told me I'd be dead by now.
Well, you're not. So sue me.
I am.
And death.
I chucked it on my patient.
How is that guy doing?
Not great.
Oh, and a lawsuit.
Oh, come on. A good lawyer couldn't win this case.
Next Scrubs. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
Chicago Cubs baseball. Brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it. Comcast. Catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play, play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
Well, this is the center of the Major League Baseball universe right now. Everything else under the lights tonight. And today's Cubs broadcast here on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is presented in high definition, sponsored by Comcast. Also presented in Dolby 5.1 surround sound. The White Sox taking the field, and let's check in on Lou Pinella's Cubs Pepsi lineup. Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, Fontenot, and Lee at the top. Good to see Aramis Ramirez back on the active roster. He was hot when he got hurt. DeRosa at third. Rob Bowen with his second straight start. And 7 through 9, Pagan, PA, and his tourists.
As the fireworks go off here at the cell, let's take a look at the White Sox defensively. Makoviak in left field. Darren Erstad welcomed back to the lineup today. He'll be playing center field. Jermaine Dye over in right. Josh Fields, Juan Uribe, Tadahito Iguchi, and Paul Konerko across the infield. A.J. Przynski will be doing the catching for the crafty left-hander Mark Burley. Mentioned in the open, Cubs are going to have to be patient against him. He will nibble around the edges of the strike zone, but unfortunately for opposing hitters, usually he is right at the edge of the strike zone. Rarely walks anybody. Averaging fewer than 2 walks per 9 innings this season, right at 2 walks per 9 innings in his career. Just throws very, very tough strikes to hit.
The arbiters, Ed Rapuano, in his 17th year, born in Connecticut, lives in Florida in the offseason. Ed Hickok, C.B. Buckner, and the crew chief, Joe West, on the bases. White Sox were off yesterday. The Cubs dropped a tough one, as Bob Howry gave up the game-winning run in the 9th inning, 6-5. The Cubs did come back, tied it up 5-5, but lost 2 of 3 in that series. So the Cubs were their final interleague series here in 2007. They've won 5 of their first 9, including taking 2 of 3 at Wrigley Field about a month ago against these White Sox. So here we go. Burley against Soriano.
Burley will feature a fastball, a curveball, a cutter, and a changeup. Rarely throws the changeup to left-handed hitters. Rarely throws the cutter, or rather, rarely throws the changeup to the left-handed hitters. That's correct. He loves that cutter in on the hands of right-handed batters.
A little bit off the plate. 2-1 on Alfonso Soriano, hitting .303 on the year. 4 for 26 in his career, with 1 home run against the left-hander. A very comfortable 70 degrees. The winds out of the east-northeast at 12. Right now blowing left to right. Burley works very quickly.
And I talked to Mark DeRosa before the ballgame and asked him to compare Burley to a pitcher that he's seen in the National League, and suggested Tom Glavine as perhaps a good comparison. But DeRosa said the difference is Glavine basically stays away from the right-handers. He'll show in occasionally. Burley relies on that cutter. He will come in on right-handers, and he will do it regularly.
Well, 8 innings, only 1 run allowed each of his last 2 starts. Pop foul out of play. Good battle. And I know some have said that the luster has been taken off this series because of both clubs being under 500 and both struggling since the last time they met on the north side. There's a high drive by Soriano deep to left field, and how about a leadoff homer? So Soriano loves Friday, number 1, and number 2, he has now hit safely to start every game on this trip. 12 homers his last 3 Fridays. Number 13 on the year.
12 of the 13 solo shots. Looked like that was a cutter that was trying to get inside there, and Soriano just doesn't allow it to get to the spot. Quick bat head out in front of home plate, no doubt about it.
Well, we talked on the pregame, Bob, about the lack of home run power from a team that should be hitting more home runs. The Cubs 8th in the National League, middle of the pack in home runs, and they should be in the upper echelon.
Well, if you think back, Derek Lee was out of the lineup for a while with his neck problem. The Cubs have been missing Aramis Ramirez for the last couple of weeks, so hopefully getting all those parts back in place will make a difference.
Erstad lays out, lost his cap, caught the ball. A terrific defensive center fielder and made a great catch just off the DL. Had a sprained left ankle, and he robs Mike Fontenot.
From our Southwest RoboCam, Mike Fontenot making a bid for a base hit into center field. Wynn pushing that ball back toward the infield, and a nice sliding grab by Darren Erstad out there in center field. We talked about the energy that he brings to this White Sox ball club, as if they need any more energy, but positive energy from Darren Erstad.
Well, he's the only player in baseball history to win Gold Gloves as an infielder and an outfielder, first base and in the outfield. Now the red-hot Derek Lee, 13 for his last 21. So Lou Piniella getting his first taste of this rivalry on the south side. His club again took the series at Wrigley Field in May.
Well, and the estimated distance for Soriano's leadoff home run, 424 feet.
Called strike 3, 2 down. Well, the ball will fly out of here, no doubt.
This is one of those unhittable strikes I was talking about. That's a good pitcher's pitch right at the knees on the outside corner. Not much you can do with that as a hitter.
My guess is you would have enjoyed hitting in this ballpark.
Well, you never know. By all indications, very much an offensive ballpark. Seen a lot of home run balls fly out of this park. Not as many this year as I'm sure Ozzie would hope for, but this has always been a very hitter-friendly yard.
So Ramirez back, DHing today. He might be in that spot the entire weekend. The Cubs, after Sunday, will not be able to use the DH the rest of the year. Aramis was on the DL with left patellar tendonitis. Opposite field, twisting is Jermaine Dye. That one's gone. Ramirez returning from the DL with his 14th. And he loves hitting in this ballpark. That is his 5th career home run here in just 44 at-bats.
Boy, and you have to love the opposite field home run from Aramis Ramirez. A lot of times when a guy returns to the lineup from an injury, they have a tendency to be a little pull crazy, really trying to get that bat head out in front of home plate, but Ramirez just goes with the pitch with authority. Hits it in the bullpen out there in right field.
So a couple of home runs here in the opening inning, supporting Carlos Zambrano.
I mentioned I talked to Mark DeRosa about Burley before the game, and I asked Mark what his approach would be, and he said he tries to take away the outer part of the plate because that's where Burley is going to try to paint that corner. So he's thinking about going to the opposite field, and he said besides, if he throws the cutter inside, chances are you're going to pull it foul anyway. It's not a pitch you can really do much with. Ball working inside. Of course, if he leaves it over the middle of the plate, good hitters will handle that anyway.
A bouncer toward third, it's foul.
Yeah, and that was on that cutter. That ball, if he throws it where he wants to, it's almost impossible for a right-handed hitter to keep it fair.
On the ground, easy play for Juan Uribe. Good inning for the Cubs. Couple of home runs. Soriano with a leadoff shot to get it going. And then 3 batters later, Aramis Ramirez announcing his return from the DL. It's 2-0.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's just, it's jammed or something.
What are you doing?
Step back.
What are you doing in my car?
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly from Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Strong, like family. Strong, like friends. Strong like tradition. For years, life's strongest moments have been served on Chinette. Chinette, life is served.
At eHarmony, we match you across 29 dimensions of compatibility. And right now, not only can you log on to eHarmony.com and get your personality profile, you can also review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you would be matched up with according to compatibility?
He loves me for me.
Visit eHarmony.com and discover what so many singles have found. Log on today and review your eHarmony matches absolutely free. eHarmony.com.
Now let's check in on Ozzie Guillen's White Sox lineup. They have really scuffled in the run-scoring department. Erstad back, Iguchi at second. Jim told me the DH, he had some back problems earlier this week. Konerko at first. A.J. Przinsky, the catcher. Jermaine Dye had a quad injury earlier this week. It's Makoviak, Fields, and Uribe rounding it out.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively behind starter Carlos Zambrano. Brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano, PA, and Pagan, the fast outfield once again. Mark DeRosa, who's done an outstanding job filling in for Aramis Ramirez at third base. Cesar Asturias at short today. Mike Fontenot over at second base. Derek Lee at first. Rob Bowen once again behind the plate today. First time catching Big Z Carlos Zambrano. Showed you Z's numbers at the top of the show. He's 2-1 over his last 3 games, but the one loss was probably the best game of all. Went 9 innings, gave up only 2 hits and 1 run against the Padres in a 1-0 loss.
Well, I'll tell you what, the 2 guys coming off the DL, one of them already out of the ball game. Luis Torrero is going to pinch hit for Darren Erstad. Remember, it was the left ankle, and I don't know if we saw anything there in particular. Might not have been the ankle, and the left knee for Aramis Ramirez being looked at by Ed Halber, the Cubs training staff.
It looked like more a conversation about the comfort of that knee brace. Sometimes it just doesn't fit quite the way you need it to provide the relief you're looking for.
Not quite sure what happened to Erstad, but he's out, and Torrero in to lead off. Takes a strike from Zambrano. The next pitch, 91 on the sinker, strike 2.
Well, Len talked about the left ankle injury of Darren Erstad. We'll take another look at the replay. Doesn't really look like he overstresses that left ankle anywhere until the very end. Not sure exactly the reason for him coming out of the ball game. I'm sure we'll find out shortly.
A complete game loss in his last outing against San Diego. Took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. Fouled back. So both these starting pitchers have had a complete game 2-hit loss. Mark Burley at Toronto earlier this year was tremendous. He gave up 2 solo home runs, and that was it. They lost 2-0. Burley also with a no-hitter. 7, and that pitch just missed. Complete game for Z his last time out. His first since September of 05 against St. Louis. The 2-2 pitch. Another foul by Torero. So both leadoff hitters making the opposing pitcher work. Eventually Soriano hit a home run.
Well, and we've been talking a lot about the differences between the American League and the National League, and one of the big differences is if you're a bench player in the American League, if you don't start the game, you're probably not going to get in the ball game. But Luis Torero taking the first at bat of the game for the White Sox today after not being in the initial lineup.
And he swings and misses for a strikeout. 75th punch out for Big Z.
Well, they work hard to get it, but spots a real good fastball on the outside corner. Torero swings right underneath it for the first out of the bottom half of the first inning. And from our Southwest RoboCam,
Tadahito Iguchi, along with Jermaine Dye and Mark Burley, can become a free agent after the season. The speculation has already begun. Will Kenny Williams start to trade off some of the veterans, including in particular the free agents? They're 10 games under right now. They've dropped 19 of their last 24. They're in 4th place in the American League Central, 11.5 back.
Well, obviously, a lot of thought has to go into that decision where you finally decide it's time to jettison some of the pieces. And a lot of that has to do with what division are you in. And the White Sox are in a very tough division, trailing the Indians, the Tigers, the Twins.
Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts.
And depending on the division you're in, that could make your decision a lot easier looking at the teams you have to climb over. A real good off-speed pitch that time from Zambrano. Gets Iguchi with a very defensive swing on a pitch that was well out of the strike zone.
Well, in the case of Mark Burley in particular, Bob, I think if it continues to go the way it has for the White Sox, a lot of people would be very surprised if he's not traded, because Kenny Williams has essentially said that they're philosophically not in the business of handing out 4-, 5-, 6-year contracts to pitchers. And Mark Burley is probably going to get an offer. Might not get Barry Zito type money in years, but it'll be up in that area. And in fact, today's starter for the Cubs also can become a free agent. There are going to be teams that will be calling their agents the minute they're able to after the season. Jim Thome missing a couple of games with back spasms. But back in their lineup. "15 pitches for Zambrano here in the first inning. Working ahead in the count. 2-2 now.
I believe Rob Bowen's eyes are just a little bit wider today than they normally are. His first opportunity to get behind the dish and catch Carlos Zambrano, and we know what kind of movement he can have on his pitches. Sure, it'll be a busy first couple of innings here for Rob Bowen until he reaches that comfort zone where he has a pretty good idea of which direction each pitch is going to move.
And Coy Hill has done a nice job catching Zambrano his last few starts. But it's Bowen today. 3-2 pitch, struck him out. Great start for Carlos and the Cubs. He strikes out the side, and the Cubs lead 2-0.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Got a lot of projects?
Yeah.
We've got what you need. Come on.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Tomorrow afternoon, time for Game 2 as curveball kid Rich Hill goes up against the veteran Vasquez. Cubs, Sox. The Crosstown Classic weekend continues tomorrow at 1 on WGN, your official summer baseball station.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is brought to you by Budweiser. Born in America, enjoyed around the world. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Nicely done. An early start to the weekend. The second official day of summer. And switch hitting catcher Rob Bowen, wearing number 4 in his second game as a Chicago Cub. He wore 14 with the Padres, but that number will not be worn again.
Hang with him.
Mr. Cub wore 14.
You always have to have a plan B, Rob.
I enjoyed your interview with Rob. Swing and a miss. I guess he was a teenager when he decided to switch hit, right?
Very, very good career choice. A switch hitter at any position, but especially behind that plate, is a very, very valuable asset to any organization.
First time he has faced Burley. Mark got a no decision at Wrigley Field on May 18th. 3-3 in his career against the Cubs in 8 starts. Don't see too many empty green seats here in this ballpark today, nor will we all weekend. And if you can't get down here to the south side, all 3 games right here on WGN Sports. There's a fly ball out into right. Easy play for Jermaine Dye. Again, everything else is tonight. So this is the only game going on. So we say hello to all those watching in the various clubhouses around baseball, because every time you walk into a clubhouse 3 hours before the game, if there is a game on somewhere, it'll be on the big screen.
Absolutely. I spent a lot of my afternoons watching Cubs baseball on WGN.
Angel Pagan in game 1 of that series in May with a big game-tying triple and scored the winning run on a pass ball. Little roller through the thick grass of the infield. Some balls will skid through the grass. That one slowed down considerably. Wasn't hit very hard to begin with.
A lot of it depends on the kind of spin on the ball as it's coming off the bat. Is it side spin, top spin, back spin, and then you couple that with the thick infield grass they have here at the Cell, and sometimes that ball will just nearly die before getting to the infielder.
Felix P.A. playing in this ballpark for the first time and hitting 8th for the second consecutive game. Torrero drifting in. He has it in Burley. Sends the Cubs down in order in the second. It's 2-0 after an inning and a half.
From the night I went to the prom by myself to my 18th birthday party where all my ex-boyfriends showed up. It's all right here in the diary of me, Moesha Mitchell. Occupation, teenager.
Her name is Brandy. Her show is Moesha. Her message?
Follow your own star.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
You packed your own shoots for the first time, and that's a big deal. As a surprise, I stocked the fridge in the hangar with Bud Light.
Hey, where's the Bud Light?
To the left, Polo.
refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
That's cold.
I heard Stacy got promoted.
I heard the same
I
thing.
couldn't believe it.
Seriously? You gonna do that?
What?
You don't need a napkin tuck for a quarter pounder with cheese.
This is the new shirt. That's a lot of beef and cheese.
You think you can't handle it?
I can handle it.
You take it off, you look ridiculous.
Fine.
The quarter pounder with cheese, made with 100% beef.
You got something on your shirt.
I'm aware of that.
Bud Light bleacher tickets are available now for the upcoming night games with Colorado on June 25th and 26th. As always, to purchase tickets and for more information, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. So that 1906 banner, 3 World Championships starting in 1906, the latest in 2005 for the White Sox. Paul Konerko looks at strike one. BB, you like seeing Carlos get through that first inning unscathed. That's been his tough inning. An 8.40 ERA in the first, 3.83 after that.
And not just get through the first inning, but do it in dominating fashion. 3 strikeouts. The deflector shield slider working today. That ball started off the plate inside, ended up on the outside corner.
Oh-2 on the way. Might have been a splitter. And Henry Blanco tried to throw a little bit today and still taking it very slowly. The cervical herniated disc. He's had the neck problem for a while, and well, I don't know. He might be out a while.
I'll talk to Mark O'Neill after Henry had his throwing session today, and as usual with the injuries, the real test is how will he feel tomorrow. I mean, you talk about baby steps. When you have a neck injury, everything you do has to be very controlled and very slow. You can't jump back into action as quickly as I'm sure Henry would like. So just taking everything step by step and reevaluating the next day.
Just off the inside corner. Got the fastball up to 92.
I thought it was interesting in talking to Rob Bowen about the help he's been getting from Coy Hill, and he immediately pointed out that Henry Blanco as well. I mean, just because a guy's not on the active roster doesn't mean he can't help contribute to what the team is trying to do on the field, and Henry has been very open in helping Rob Bowen learn this pitching staff quickly.
Just dominated. Zambrano with 4 straight strikeouts to start the game.
Well, if there's a weakness in Carlos's game today, I haven't seen it yet. Cut fastballs good, sinking fastballs good. The slider is off the charts good, and he's thrown some changeups that have just fallen off the table. From our Southwest RoboCam, the 4th straight strikeout to start the ball game for Carlos Zambrano.
Now facing a guy I think Carlos would now consider an off-field friend. They shot a commercial together. These two guys, big-time competitors on the field, but Carlos and AJ have both said that they like the other guy off the field. I hate to shatter people's illusions. I think what people want to hear is, I can't stand him.
I still chuckle when I think about Ozzie Guillen's comments about A.J. Pierzynski. He's pretty appropriate.
First a 1-1 pitch. Popped up on the infield. Easy play for DeRosa.
Yeah, when talking about A.J. Pierzynski, Ozzie Guillen said when he's on the other team, you hate him. When he's on your team, you hate him less. That was a pretty good way to put it. There's been a lot of guys scattered around the history of the game that kind of fall into that general classification. Dan Gladden played on some world championship teams in Minnesota, was a guy that seemed to draw the ire of his opponents, but was very well loved as a teammate. There's been many, many others.
I'm not so sure Jack Morris was the easiest guy to be around, but on the day he pitched, every teammate wanted him to have the baseball, and he never wanted to come out. I'm not sure every manager loved being around Jack Morris, but he won for him. That's all that matters. The one team you think about as far as guys who maybe didn't all get along but played well together, the Oakland A's in the 1970s.
Some of the Yankees teams back in the days of the Bronx Zoo, Billy Martin and Reggie Jackson and others.
Popped up by Dye. This is Mike Fontenot. 6 up, 6 down for Zambrano. Cubs 2, Sox nothing.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Nick McMurdy chose a Carrier Infinity system because it can save him up to 56% on cooling costs. Here he explains the technology that makes it possible. So maybe Nick can't explain what makes his Carrier system the most energy-efficient heating and cooling system you can buy. Frankly, why should he? That's our job. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Strong, like family. Strong, like friends. Strong like tradition. For years, life's strongest moments have been served on Chinette. Chinette, life is served.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN. The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Third inning from the cell. The Cubs 11-16 all-time here. Going back to 1997, 27-30 against the White Sox in the regular season. Cesar's Torres batting ninth, and then it'll be Soriano and Fontenot against Mark Burley. High bouncer foul. And well, having followed Mark Burley's career a little bit, and even this year, as I talked about, 2 home runs he gave up in Toronto, I mean, he's the kind of guy who could settle down, and that's all you'll get. And the Cubs have had trouble tacking on this year.
Well, the old cliche about if you're going to get to a good pitcher, you better do it early before he settles in, and you're absolutely right about Mark Burley. He has shown that capability over the course of his career.
I know his, quote, stuff is not going to jump out at you, but on the durability chart, winning big games, he's the kind of guy a lot of teams would love to have. And he bounced foul past first base. And Mark Burley has never been shy about saying that he does not like the Chicago Cubs. He grew up a Cardinal fan and now pitching for the Chicago White Sox.
Well, you mentioned how durable Burley has been. He has never started fewer than 32 games in a full season. He did start 28 games back in 2000. He spent some time in Birmingham that year, but every year since then, at least 32 starts. Big-time inning eater, always in the 220s, 230s. One season, 245 innings pitched.
Dalton is center. Torero is there to make the catch. Again, Torero came in to pinch hit for the injured Darren Erstad in the first inning.
Mm-hmm. 144 starts since 03 for Zambrano. You see his record just outstanding. 149 starts for Burley since 03. Very, very similar numbers.
Now the rematch from the first inning. Soriano with his second career home run against Burley. Busted him inside, moved his hands. 1 ball, no strikes. Curveball in there, 1-1. So Alfonso with 26 RBIs, but half of those RBIs have been on the home runs, knocking in himself.
That home run back in the first was a blast off the bat of Alfonso Soriano. His 12th solo home run of his 13 bombs. 424 feet into the back of the pavilion out there in left field.
Called strike 3. I'm not sure if AJ had heard the call by Ed Rapuano or not, but that ball was halfway to third when we saw Rapuano make the call with a hand.
Well, we've seen some of the plate umpires that are a little slow with their strike call, but they will give the catcher and the hitter a verbal call immediately. Not sure if that was the case there or if Brzezinski was just trying to sway the home plate umpire.
I say it kind of half facetiously, but is that one of those just little things about AJ that sometimes can get under the skin of other teams? Like, you can wait toward the right field corner by Fontenot, and he pulled it. Foul. Again, I think you're right. I'm sure Ed Rapuano made the verbal call early, but it's like the minute that hit the glove, he was throwing it down to third base.
Well, obviously, you sit back there and catch enough pitches from your starting pitcher, and you know where the strike zone is on a given day, depending on the home plate umpire. AJ may have just been helping out Ed Rapuano a little bit.
Well, this one's kind of flown under the radar, but good to see Gerald Perry back on the bench. He had to serve a 3-game suspension, missed the entire series in Texas. He was there, but not on the bench during the games. Cubs hitting coach suspended for his actions in that fight with the San Diego Padres last weekend. A 1-2 swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for Mark Burley. Hasn't allowed a base runner since the Ramirez homer in the first inning.
Flying to the Washington area for business? If these 15 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to Baltimore, Washington, and Washington Dulles International, maybe this will. Unlike other airlines, our low fares don't have hidden fees.
You are now free to move about the country.
New Turtle X Ice Liquid Clay Bar deep cleans your car's finish, removing light scratches, swirl marks, bugs, tar, and oxidation. Its easy-to-use triple-layer formula is safe for all painted surfaces. New Ice Liquid Clay Bar, the perfect finish-restoring product.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof. To seize a deadly supervirus, Jack goes undercover.
If Jack Bauer does not intercept the virus, then we are dealing with an international crisis.
And discovers a bitter enemy is back.
Jack's not who you think he is. He's setting you up.
And she's working against him.
I know you're still with CTU.
You say one wrong word, and he will kill you. Understand? X-24, Saturday at 11:30 on Superstation WGN. America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Welcome back to the South Side for Cubs baseball. 2-0. Cubs coming in third in the National League Central, 8.5 out behind Milwaukee. Still a long way to go, but they really need to get on a roll. And leading up to the All-Star break, they are going to play several teams that are beneath 500. Rob Makoviak playing left field, leading off for the White Sox. First of 9 in a row for the Cubs in Chicago after this 6-game homestand against two of the hotter teams in the league, the Colorado Rockies, who just swept the Yankees, and then first place Milwaukee next weekend.
Rob Bowen's first bell ringer as a member of the Chicago Cubs comes off the bat of Rob Makoviak, right between the bars.
Bowen with the old school mask. Swing and a miss. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Just filthy today. You know, I talked about Mark Burley being a finesse pitcher and throwing pitcher strikes, unhittable strikes, and Zambrano doing the same today. All of his stuff is just electric so far in this ball game. Very awkward swing right there. Makoviak, fooled by the pitch, just tried to foul it off and stay alive. Game up empty.
Lay one down.
Rob Bowen's second bell ringer as a member of the Chicago Cubs. They always seem to run in cycles. You may go a couple weeks without taking a foul tip and then get hit 3 times in the same inning. That's number 2 here in the inning for Bowen. You know, and that's one of the things that's really concerning about the Henry Blanco injury. Any kind of an injury to the neck, first of all, is scary to begin with. But given the position that he plays, you just can't imagine what that must feel like to take a foul tip like that when you already have an existing neck problem. So I think that's why the Cubs are going to be very, very patient and very careful with Henry Blanco.
That's an excellent point. Low and outside, 1-2 the count on one of the White Sox top prospects, and Josh Fields is going to get a long look at third base. Joe Creedy might be done for the year after back surgery. Inside that time. Baseball America says he's their number 2 prospect. That was going into the 07 season. How about another swing and a miss? That's 6 strikeouts against the first 8 hitters. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. On the blog today, I have a post on this weekend matchup here on the South Side. Highlights from the leadoff man, Bob Brenly, with Rob Bowen. Game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. It's all on WGNTV.com. Click on the link for Len and Bob's blog. Great job by Rich King and company on the leadoff man today. If you missed Tom Otis Hellman, the Cubs clubhouse manager, reading the Cubs lineup on the pregame show, you can check that out on our blog coming up. 2 strikes on Uribe. A little bit low. I just love watching Zambrano. He doesn't hide any emotion at all. I mean, he's just fired up, but under control. It's that balance, that fine line that he has to walk. Foul tipped into the glove, and he goes right back into the dugout. He has struck out 7 of the first 9 he's faced. 2-0.
What's so funny? It's supposed to be a parrot, not a carrot, you moron. Listen up! 3 Bud Lights for everyone, if this doesn't leave the room.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
You know, you only need one eye patch.
That's cold.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable.
Well, we'll see about that.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
From the night I went to the prom by myself to my 18th birthday party where all my ex-boyfriends showed up. It's all right here in the diary of me, Moesha Mitchell. Occupation, teenager.
Her name is Brandy. Her show is Moesha. Her message?
Follow your own star.
Weekdays at 5 on Superstation WGN.
It's been all Carlos Zambrano and the Cubs early on. 2-0 the score. 9 up, 9 down for Carlos, including 7 punch-outs. Two and nothing on D. Lee. Caught looking in the first inning. That's a strike, 2-1. Both runs on solo home runs. Soriano and Ramirez in the opening inning. And if you missed it, Darren Erstad did not even take his first at bat. Made a great catch in center field, but had to come out. He just came off the DL. And Ramos Ramirez coming off the shelf, hitting a home run in his first at bat. He's the DH today. 3-2 to Lee. Bouncer up the middle. Uribe can't get it. It's into center. We talked to Aramis before the game about his left knee and how it's going to feel the rest of the year.
I'm not 100%, and I don't think I will be the rest of the year, but, you know, I'm good enough to play, and that's why I'm on the lineup.
Now, one of the things that he's going to do, and he didn't have to worry about it on the home run the other way, is if he tries to beat out an infield hit, he says he's going to try to hit first base with his right leg. He really jammed that knee when he hit it with the left leg in Milwaukee, and that's what sent him to the DL, and had a similar play earlier in the season in Philadelphia.
And as small an adjustment as that sounds, it's not that easy. I mean, most hitters, when they put the ball in play, it's exactly the same number of steps down that first baseline, and generally they're going to get there either with their left foot or their right foot every time. And if Aramis is a left foot guy that always gets down to first base and hits the bag with the left foot, that's going to take a considerable adjustment, not to mention the fact that hitting it with your right foot will put you more into the baseline and possibly risk being called out for being inside that restraining line down the first baseline.
Now, my guess would be most right-handed hitters or right-handed players would hit with the left. I'm thinking about basketball. When you do a layup, you jump off your left. You want to maybe land on the left? I don't know. But I think you're right about where you are in the baseline. You would think most guys would hit it with their left foot. Well, we saw Carlos recently run down to first and really stretch to land on that left foot. He's going to have to be careful, and one of the examples is what happened to Aramis. It's a lot of weight going down that line and landing on that leg. One and two the count.
We talked a lot about Mark Burley and his stuff approaching opposing hitters. He does everything else well on the field also. He's got a great pickoff move to first base. He's picked off 4 runners already this year, and that's with the history of being a real good pickoff pitcher. Fields his position well.
Lee will end up at second base. I think that, yeah, it did. It hit Ramirez on the foot. No argument from the White Sox. Ed Rapuano pointed at his foot to indicate where that ball hit Ramirez.
Yeah, that cutter down and in. Looked like it might have actually grazed off the front leg and then caught him flush on the back leg. And gets by Przinsky. So Derek Lee was going to advance either way, but because of the hit by pitch, the Cubs have 2 on, nobody out.
By the way, Ramirez came into this game 0 for 10. Lifetime as a DH. So the home run was his first ever hit as a designated hitter. Good chance now for the Cubs. 2 on, no outs. Burley has a sign from Przinsky, working from the third base side of the pitching rubber. I know you had a chance to talk to Mark before the game in the scouting report on Burley. I think the left eye's fine now. DeRosa had to leave the game 2 nights ago in Texas with an ocular migraine headache that blurred his vision. And he was back in there yesterday. A little bit of a scary situation. Fortunately, it didn't last.
And Mark said he's been getting a lot of emails and snail mail from fans all around the country that said they've suffered from the same thing. Apparently, it's a lot more common than we initially realized.
Mark Burley has already tossed 70 pitches. That's a lot considering he hasn't walked anybody.
Well, 119 is his high on the season. That came in 8 innings against the Houston Astros a couple of starts ago.
Mr. Comiskey.
Or Kaminsky, as some people like to call it.
Well, we have to mention it. And we do it lovingly. Tom Otis Hellman, we talked about him, made the announcement last night, swing and a miss and a strikeout. I think it was a little bit on purpose just to get a chuckle, but on the team plane, talking about the drill today where the bus was going to take off and when to come down to the south side, and he said Kaminsky Park.
And we all knew what he meant, but and I agree with you. I think a certain amount of it was premeditated to get a chuckle on the plane. Lord knows we needed some humor on that plane ride home from Arlington.
Bowen flied to right in the second. But the way things have gone for his battery mate, he doesn't have to do much offensively today as long as he can keep Carlos right where he is, locked in. Anything you get offensively will be gravy. But a big spot, first and second, with only 1 out. He had a good game yesterday, a couple of walks. This could be 2. 6, 4, 3. So Bowen will put the catcher's gear back on and head back out there to catch some broad.
P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Just the Midas touch.
We got just what you need to keep your yard beautiful and weed-free. Let's start with fertilizer.
We're here because we've been there with the tools, products, and advice to get it done right. True Value. Start right. Start here.
Da Vinci's Inquest, weekdays on Superstation WGN.
Another one of the great statues here, the Hall of Famer Nellie Fox. Got that baseball on his fingertips.
Good double play feed right there.
Bottom four, top of the order. Torero, Iguchi, and Tommy. First pitch swinging. We might see more of that the second time through. Here's Turris, locates it. 10 up, 10 down.
I mentioned it before. He's had it all working in this ball game. His fastball has been moving all over the place. Great changeup right there. Bottom just falling out. Another good changeup. Cut fastball just runs right in on the hands. Makoviak with a weak swing. There's the deflector shield slider.
And a base hit. The first one for the White Sox. So Iguchi is their first base runner.
Looks like Carlos got that pitch up a little bit. Bowen slides out on the outside corner. Pitch is belt high, outer part of the plate.
It's the only good contact the White Sox have made. The non-strikeout outs, a pop to third, pop to second, pop to short. That's how good Zambrano's been. The pitch. A slide and snagged by the catcher.
And once again, and we talked about it earlier, however, as much as this has been a Cubs-dominated ball game up to this point, we're one swing away from a tie game. Cubs with the 2 solo home runs in the first inning. They've done very little since then. Mark Burley settled in nicely. That's where that power comes in. Give your team a little bit more of a cushion. Give that starting pitcher a little bit of a margin for error.
Well, the lack of offense on the outside looking in for the Chicago White Sox. Just blown away. I mean, I know Tomey's had some injury problems. Konerko got off to a slow start. But last in the majors in runs and an on-base percentage, 29th in slugging. Well, you have guys like Dye, Tomey, Konerko, Brzezinski.
And another very telling number for the White Sox offensively. With runners in scoring position, they have the fewest hits and the fewest at-bats in those situations in all of baseball.
Tomey walks. So the first bit of adversity today for Zambrano, and his new battery mate's going to head out and chat about it. 2 on with 1 out. And it'll bring up Konerko. Don't miss any of the action as the Cubs battle the Colorado Rockies this Wednesday, June 27th at 1:20. Kids get to the ballpark early. The first 5,000 children 13 and younger will receive a Cubs bat. Compliments of Kellogg's. Always love Bat Day. Larry Rothschild hoping it's not Bat Day here in this inning. First and second for Konerko. Cubs leading 2-0.
Carlos looking for that double play ball. Paul Konerko is a guy that routinely ends up near the league leaders every year in grounding into double plays, partly because of a lack of speed, partly because he hits the ball so hard.
One ball, one strike on the White Sox captain, Paul Konerko. Well, the other thing about Ozzy's club is that, again, they play in such an offensive, tilted ballpark. But they have struggled at home like the Cubs have at Wrigley. They're just 15-18 here at home. The other big problem is their bullpen. The worst earned run average among bullpens in all of baseball.
Off-speed pitch just got away from Carlos, ran inside on Konerko. See something hard down in the strike zone right here. That big, heavy Carlos Zambrano sinker. Look for that ground ball double play to get out of this jam.
All the infielders back in double play depth. Iguchi at second, Tomey at first. Crushed foul by Konerko.
Zambrano with another changeup, this time hanging it over the inside part of the plate. Fortunately, it was so far inside, Konerko couldn't keep that ball fair.
First time the White Sox have made Zambrano work. 2-2 the count. The kick and the pitch. Drilled left field corner. Foul. And just a long strike.
Came on another off-speed pitch, a breaking ball. Konerko reaches out and hooks it back to left field and just foul down that third base line. Knew it was foul all the way.
Lou was sitting, now he might start pacing. Long look by Zambrano. Now he's ready. And another 2-2 pitch. Called. Strike 3. Well, Konerko really upset. In no uncertain terms, he let Ed Rapuano know that he hated that call. A huge strikeout for Carlos.
Rob Bowen didn't catch that pitch real good either. Kind of pushed it down out of the strike zone. And when Konerko turned, that's all he saw was Bowen pulling his glove back up from that way bottom part of the strike zone. That's one good thing about Ed Rapuano. He will allow a player to speak his piece. He understands that a batter's going to be upset getting called out on strikes with runners on base. He'll let you speak your piece. He won't follow you back to the dugout, baiting you into saying something else.
Is it safe to say there are some guys who might have thrown him out?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just by his initial reaction, just the way he jumped up in the air in displeasure with that call. But Ed Rapuano's been around for a long time. He understands the game. He understands the emotion of the game, and he'll let players vent a little bit up to a certain extent.
Fouled back by Przinski, and Zambrano out in front 0-2. 8 strikeouts already.
We can get one more look at Konerko's reaction. Yeah, that probably would have been enough for some umpires to throw him out, and then leaning in there to make sure Ed Rapuano heard what he was saying. That would probably be grounds as well for some umpires to eject Konerko, but Rapuano lets him speak his piece, keeps him in the ball game.
An overcast, somewhat cool afternoon. And Paul Konerko, anything but cool right now. He's hot. After the strikeout. And Zambrano trying to punch out AJ here. The pitch. Golfed foul. Zambrano on the season 7-6. Right now in his best stretch. 9 innings his last time, 8 innings the start before that. 5 hits combined in his last 2 starts. Giving up 1 today. And coming back on another 0-2. Fouled off the other way. Jermaine Dye waiting on deck. He'll only bat if Przinski can reach. The next pitch. I'm just looking to see, did the radar gun even pick up the velocity? It was too slow.
Well, it just got out of his hand. I think he was trying to throw a slider here. Well, the ball just comes out of his hand. Bad, stays up and away.
That almost looked like a knuckleball. That was a weird pitch. Bouncer. Fontenot to lead. And Zambrano gets out of it. 2 base runners stranded. A big strikeout of Konerko in the middle of the inning. 2-0 Cubs.
Hey, my beer! Come here, you little varmint! You can run, but you can't hide! Oh, you think the tree's gonna save you? You furry freak! Come to Papa!
Fred? Hey, neighbor. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Mine! Let go! No, you don't!
Yes, I do!
Let go, Fred!
That's cold.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going and going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avodart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avodart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avodart.
The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN. These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Greg Silas running a center field camera today. There's a strike from Mark Burley to Angel Pagan. 5th inning. It's a pretty good spot. With cover out there as well, just in case. Pagan hitting 7th for the Cubs.
I don't think Pagan liked that pitch too much. Once again, another low strike from Ed Rapiwano behind home plate. He's been consistent with that low strike, but once again, he let Angel speak his piece, get back in the batter's box, go back to work.
A wind and a 2-2. Fly ball to straightaway center. Torero ends up backpedaling.
We saw that one pitch from Carlos Zambrano in the last half inning to A.J. Pierzynski. You could see his finger up on the baseball. That's called a spiked curve or a finger up curveball. It looked like he just wanted to roll that big, slow breaking ball. We saw Vicente Padilla use it yesterday in Texas. We've seen other pitchers. Livan Hernandez uses that pitch very effectively. It's so slow that a lot of times hitters will just give up on it.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but the spike curve, I think you kind of almost dig your fingernail in. You got the knuckle curve that Bert Hooton threw. Well, different variations.
Yeah, different ways to grip the pitch, but the bottom line is what you want to throw is like a 60-mile-an-hour floating breaking ball that just seems like it's never going to get to the plate. You have the hitter give up on it, and then ideally it drops in there for a called strike.
Upstairs on Felix, and it's 1-2. Two and two. He got his attention.
Hello.
It's a foul ball off the foot of PA.
Seems like the overwhelming majority of the times at the major league level, when a guy throws a fastball up and in, whether it's by design or whether it's an accident, they're going to come back with a breaking ball away on the next pitch. And the idea is that you have that hitter, you've made him aware that you'll pitch inside, you've thrown a ball up high above the shoulders, making him lean back out of the batter's box, and ideally you throw that next breaking ball in the outside corner, and that's where he's susceptible.
Tadahito Iguchi with the over-the-shoulder running catch.
Hey, music fans, Lifehouse will be opening for the Goo Goo Dolls at the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island on August 23rd, part of the Bud Light Concert Series. Tickets are on sale now. Go check out Johnny Resnick and the Boys. For tickets, visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and live music, always worth it.
Enjoying some Lifehouse. One strike on his Taurus. And 3 switch hitters in the lineup. Pulls a ground ball to Josh Fields. Pops him in and over to Konerko. It's 3 1-2-3 innings out of the first 5 for Burley, but the Cubs lead.
Welcome to California.
We cruise.
We fly.
We run.
We go with the flow.
We let go.
And we believe one simple thing.
That every day in California is your lucky day.
Is your lucky day.
So there's just one thing you have to ask yourself.
How fast can you get here?
Find yourself in California. Southwest Airlines is taking low fares farther with more than 90 daily flights from Chicago Midway to these cities.
You are now free to move about the country.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
Trust the Midas touch.
Halt! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
24, Saturdays at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Welcome back to the South Side. The Cubs on a couple of solo home runs, leading 2-0. Zambrano back to work. 1 strike on Jermaine Dye. He left Monday's game in the 4th inning with a slight strain in his left quad. We're getting into that part of the season. The Cubs in game 72, where those bumps and bruises start to knock guys out of occasional action. All-Star break coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, managers really have to be judicious in how they use the off day along with a scheduled off day to try to give guys an opportunity to heal up some of those bumps and bruises. No, they're just not going to go away at this point. I mean, some of the injuries that guys have suffered up to this point, Zambrano even limping a little bit out there on the mound, not sure the cause of that. Yeah, they get a little tougher and tougher to play through. Those turnarounds seem to be a little quicker. Especially for the veteran players, you've got to find time to give them adequate rest so that you're getting as close to 100% as you can get at this point of the season forward.
Dye goes down swinging. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
It's the funniest bloopers, blunders, and embarrassing moments, all caught on tape. America's funniest home videos. Weekdays at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Zambrano's just 3 off his career high in strikeouts. He has 9 already. We're only in the 5th inning. So he's hit 12 3 times. It's a foul ball past first. I'll tell you one of the neat things about this series. You've got several guys who are from the area. Rob Makoviak, Cliff Floyd. Swing and a miss by Makoviak, and I think Ed Rapuano ended up with something in his eye. Maybe a piece of dirt. As Makoviak was swinging, Rapuano really whipped his head out of the way. So we might have to wait for a minute here. The unplayed umpire has to be able to see.
Sometimes those the cupped bats, if you're not familiar with that, the very end of the bat, the top end of the bat, a hitter will they will cup a certain amount of wood out of the very top of the bat. The idea is to change the balance of the bat more toward the hitting zone, and occasionally you'll get dirt caught in that cupped area of the bat, and when the batter swings, the dirt tends to come flying out, and perhaps that's what happened to Ed Rapuano during Makoviak's at bat. One and one on Fields. It's like Ed is okay.
not 100%, but good enough.
I could think of a lot of umpire jokes relating to eyesight, but I'm not going to go there.
Okay. Nice play by Mark DeRosa. 1-2-3. Go the White Sox. Cubs 2. Sox nothing after 5.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Two to nothing, and Alfonso Soriano started the ball game with his 6th Friday home run of the year. Will bat for the 3rd time. Line foul over Mike Quaddy. Fouled up. Just wanted to follow up my point. You know, Cliff Floyd from Markham, Rob Makoviak from Oak Lawn, Larry Rothschild went to Homewood Flossmoor. Ryan Buckfitch, reliever for the White Sox, born in Naperville. We just saw Mike Quaddy, went to Prospect High School in Mount Prospect. So the Chicago area well represented here in this crosstown series. Base hit into the left. Cubs have 4 hits. And Soriano has half of them. Let's check out the Honda Civic game summary. The offense starting early. A home run by Soriano to left field. Aramis Ramirez coming off the disabled list. Goes the other way for his 14th of the year. Carlos Zambrano early on with a ton of strikeouts. 7 of the first 9 he faced. Big one in the 4th inning. Don Cooper didn't like that call. 10 strikeouts for Zambrano. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. Fields in at 3rd. Konerko holding the runner on at 1st. Double play depth. 2nd and short. Mark Burley with 4 pickoffs this year. That leads the major leagues. Led the American League with 10 last year. Bunted. Soriano actually held up. He wasn't sure if that ball was going to be caught, so they get the out at 2nd base. Fielder's choice 3-6.
That's It's a real tough read for the runner at first base. You see that ball bunted in the air hard. You really have no choice but to freeze. Soriano made one step towards second and then froze momentarily. I'm not sure that slide was exactly what he had in mind down there at second base. This is where you break ankles right here. Ooh. Man. Some indecision as to whether to slide or go in standing up, and he kind of got caught in between.
A 1-0 pitch to Derek Lee. Missed again. 2-0. Burley has his sign from Przynski. The pitch at the knees for a strike.
Talking about the Chicago connection. In attendance today, the all-time home run leader for the state of Illinois. Jim Thome, born down in Peoria, went to Limestone High School.
Deep right field, warning track, he has it. Yeah, good call. Jim Thome grew up a big-time Cubs fan in Peoria.
Went to Illinois Central College, played baseball and basketball there. He's hit 481 home runs, the most by any native of the state of Illinois. Second place, former Cub Gary Gaetti from Centralia, Illinois, with 360 home runs. Derek Lee making a bid for an opposite field home run right here. This comes up a little short as Dye goes all the way back to the wall to make the catch.
Ramirez with a home run in the first inning, hit by a pitch in the fourth. He has a birthday coming up on Monday. He'll turn 29. And it was 2 years ago he had a big grand slam here on his birthday. Left-hander Mike Moroth, acquired by the St. Louis Cardinals today from Detroit. Tigers will get a player to be named. Moroth 5-2 with a .506 and 13 starts. Kenny Rogers scheduled to pitch tonight for the first time this year, coming back from a blood clot in his left shoulder. Boy, it must be nice to be in the Tigers situation, to have a surplus of starting pitching.
Well, right now they have a surplus of starting pitching. We know how that goes.
The Tigers are in Atlanta. Fontenot on via a fielder's choice after trying to bunt Soriano up. They got the out at second base. Crushed. Foul.
We talked about that cut fastball inside earlier in the game. It's so tough for a right-hander to do any damage with it because you end up pulling it foul. Ball starts on the inner half of the plate, looks like a very hittable strike, continues to slide in further and further toward your hands until all you're left with is a foul ball down the left field line and a long strike.
Kick in the pitch, jammed him, and Makoviak is there. Leadoff single yields, unfortunately, no runs. Still 2-zip Cubs.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
It was my worst nightmare. I was away on business and my wife called. Someone had broken into our house. We got lucky. They just wanted our things. What if the guy had still been there? I've never felt so helpless. I called ADT the very next day.
Don't take chances. Take control. ADT can help protect your home and loved ones from harm. And now save more than $250 on ADT's family package. ADT's trained professionals help watch out for your home 24/7. And in case of an emergency, you can talk to ADT on the spot. And only ADT has a network of interconnected monitoring centers, helping provide protection from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. ADT protection costs as little as $1 a day, and you could save up to 20% on your homeowner's insurance. Plus special discounts for AARP members. And only ADT gives you the peace of mind of a theft protection guarantee.
Protecting my family is the best investment I ever made.
ADT, always there.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. Jack Bauer is always one step ahead. No one can catch him except you. Catch 24 Saturdays at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Carlos Zambrano is the Carlos of old. This has been as good as we've seen him all year. And the last start, he took a no-no into the 8th inning.
As much as the players would like to downplay this series being important, it is an interleague game. It's a crosstown classic, whatever you want to call it. Carlos has had a history of not pitching real well in big event games. You go back to opening day this year. Pitched poorly, said maybe next year I should start game 2 instead of game 1. But as big an event game as this is, Carlos brought his A game today.
And he really announced before his start a few times ago in Milwaukee, said, my season starts now. And since then, he has been unbelievable. Good hang time on this high pop by Uribe, and as Torres gathers it in.
You know, a lot of people, I think, were poking a little fun at Carlos when he said, my season starts now. And certainly you can't make the beginning of the season go away, but I think that's the right attitude to have. I haven't been as good as I'd like to be up to this point, but starting today, I'm going to be better. And so far, he has fulfilled that promise.
Well, the White Sox have announced Aaron Erstad aggravated the left ankle sprain. Torero hustling, thrown out by a couple of steps. Well, Carlos wants to win a Cy Young. He hasn't done that yet. Wants to get the World Series ring. He hasn't done that. He does have the Silver Slugger, and at some point, Greg Maddux is going to retire. You know, he could win a Gold Glove.
I think the only thing working against Carlos and the possibility of him winning a Gold Glove is the fact that he's not afraid to try to throw anybody out. I mean, sometimes to the point where he makes dangerous plays. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I think as he gets older and a little more mature and a little more sure of what he can do out there defensively, he'll make better choices and cut down on some of the errant throws. There's no questioning his athletic ability. Got to that ball quickly, scooped it up with the bare hand, threw all in one motion. Plenty of time to get the speedy Luis Torero.
One of the best defensive plays by a pitcher I think we've ever seen came in his last start in the 7th. Barehanded pickup, difficult throw to get Hiram Boca Chica at first base. At the time, it preserved the no-hitter. It was broken up eventually by Marcus Giles, who ended up with an infield hit, and Giles was helped as Zambrano went up to try to get the ball on the high bouncer and just barely deflected it and slowed it down. So again, Darren Erstad aggravated the left ankle sprain. Not sure how serious it is. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 11. At least one in every inning for Zambrano. Cubs 2, White Sox nothing.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
Why does that bother you?
Why does it bother me? So easy a caveman can do it?
Well, it's just a commercial.
Okay. Well, what if it said Geico.com, so easy a therapist can do it?
Well, that commercial wouldn't make sense to me.
Why not?
Well, therapists
are what? Smart? My mother's calling. I'll put it on speaker.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
These doctors are on the cutting edge of comedy. Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Through 6, 5 hits combined and 2 runs. I don't think we're that surprised. Mark Burley and Carlos Zambrano. Well, if Mark Burley wants a complete game today, he's going to have to be extremely efficient here in the last 3 innings. Starting the 7th with 100. There's a pretty good chance the Cubs will get a look at the White Sox bullpen at some point. And they have action already in their bullpen. Right-hander Nick Massett. They also reached out. Sent a pop fly out to shallow right. Iguchi with a catch. Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the front row auction to bid on tickets for the hottest games this summer. Cubs.com. Baseball is always on. White Sox have shuffled the deck a few times already in their bullpen. Nick Massett got the win for the White Sox at Wrigley Field on May 20th as a starter. It was his first career start. Back in the bullpen. Southpaw Boone Logan also throwing. 2-1. Now 2-2. Brzezinski hesitated before throwing back to the pitcher. He was thinking about firing it to third.
That's a pitch we've seen called a strike in this ball game earlier, a couple different occasions. That low fastball or low changeup down near the bottom of the kneecaps.
A broken bat grounder. Throw hot by Uribe. 2 quick outs. Fans of all ages enjoying the Crosstown series. She's saying, I want that camera. John McDonough, Cubs president, along with Jay Blunk, director of marketing. The director of marketing and sales for the Chicago Cubs. 2-2 on Pagan. Boy, since the 2 home runs in the first inning, Burley has allowed just 2 singles.
I can't help but think, watching Mark Burley work at the pace that he works, what would happen a Mark Burley-Vicente Padilla matchup? That's the ultimate contrast in styles. Padilla takes as long as possible between pitches. Burley can't wait to throw the next one.
That will go 1-4-3. Burley kicked it to Iguchi, who threw out Pagan. Stretch time.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
You fell so madly in love.
Rob loves me for who I am. It's really amazing to feel that Harut loves me so unconditionally.
This is eHarmony.com, where thousands of people have found that one special person to accept and love them for who they really are. And right now you can log on to eHarmony.com and review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you're compatible with?
We were just so overwhelmed because it was love at first sight.
eHarmony.com.
Da Vinci's Inquest, weekdays on Superstation WGN.
Time once again to have a ball with the Illinois Lottery. We're taking a look at the fundamentals section here at U.S. Cellular Ballpark. Youngsters learning how to play the game. It's a fast infield right there.
You have to think the lefty definitely has a future, right?
Lefties always have a future in this game. Thanks to our friends at the Illinois Lottery.
Jim Thome, the batter. Jim Thome came off the disabled list in that series at Wrigley Field. Skies it to left, fairly deep, but going to stay in the park. Just had a pinch hit at bat in the final game of that series. He was on with a sprained right rib cage.
Well, then we were talking earlier about A.J. Pierzynski and how if he's on your team, you like him. If he's on another team, you don't like him so much. Everybody likes Jim Thome. Back in 05, he was voted in a survey by the Tribune Company to be the best teammate in Major League Baseball, and he got 3 times more votes than the player that finished second. And every team he's ever been on, everybody comes away with the highest regard for Jim Thome, opponents as well.
So as much as opposing teams' fans would love to hate Jim Thome, it's almost impossible.
Although they booed him in Philadelphia.
Yeah, they did. Well, who haven't they booed in Philadelphia?
No kidding. They booed Santa Claus at the Christmas parade. I think I told the story last year. I played golf one time with Jim Thome, and there are still golf balls in the desert in Arizona that may never be found. He hit them a long way, not always where he was aiming.
3-1. Oh, yeah. I just think about some of the power hitters in baseball and how far they could hit a golf ball. Oh, man. You can hit them a long way. And Paul Konerko can as well. It's out. His 12th. And with the White Sox, that's his 14th home run against the Cubs. It's now 2-1. All the run scoring on solo home runs, 2 for the Cubs, now 1 for the White Sox.
For Konerko, his 4th home run against Carlos Zambrano. Talked about this place being a launching pad. No doubt about that one off the bat of Paul Konerko. Fastball right down the middle of the plate.
It's a 1-run game. 16th home run allowed by Zambrano. Lee can't get it. Hit the dirt, then off his glove. Brzezinski's going to look at it. Pagan got over there. Very quickly keeps him to a single.
A hot shot past Derek Lee down into that right field corner. That ball was hit like a bullet. D. Lee tries to pick it on the short hop. Here's where the speed really shows up in the outfield today for the Cubs. Pagan hustling over there, getting to that ball before it got all the way down into the corner, and holds the White Sox catcher to a single.
Jermaine Dye with a runner on and 1 out. DeRosa, Fontenot, Lee, double play. Double barrel action in the bullpen. They won't be needed in the 7th. Konerko with a home run. The Cubs lead down to 1.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel. I'm free to do what I want. Or feel free to choose cash back. I'm free. Then feel free to change back again. Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Scrubs, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Paul Konerko with a solo home run. That's been the home run of choice today. The Cubs with 2 of them. And Jermaine Dye hitting into an inning-ending 5-4-3 double play.
You talked about that quad injury earlier, and this is when it figures to be aggravated, when you're really trying to accelerate down the line. And grabbing at that right quad muscle.
So the Cubs will see another lefty, Mark Burley, done after a high-pitch outing, 116 pitches in 7 innings. 2 runs on 4 hits, and it'll be Boone Logan versus rookie Felix Pie. PA is nothing for 2. Takes the pitch outside. By the way, with Ramirez coming off the disabled list, the Cubs optioning right-handed pitcher Sean Gallagher to AAA Iowa. Remember, he had been called up from AA Tennessee. 3 relief appearances for Gallagher. A 953 earned run average, 6 earned runs in 5 2/3. We'll see him back at some point. He's only 21 years old. And the Cubs down now to 6 members of their bullpen. At some point, Lou would like to get it back to 7. Marmol and Ullman out in the bullpen. Fisted foul.
Usually when you get the handshake from the manager, that indicates that your afternoon is over. Larry Rothschild immediately goes to the phone to call down to the bullpen. Well, assuming that is all for Carlos Zambrano, he couldn't have brought much more to the table than he did today. He was tremendous.
PA hustler, charged by Uribe, the throw in time. Big stretch at the end there by Felix, but the throw barely beat him.
Boy, those fast guys, they can smell those infield hits. A little slow roller to the left side. Uribe makes a real nice play to get it over there in time to get PA. Little chopper to the left side. That's an all-out sprint that time.
2-hopper handled by Iguchi. Well, we have a moment. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Make every second count. Don't miss the award-winning series 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
So Ozzie takes the baseball from Logan. With Soriano due up, he's going to go with a right-hander. Nick Massett coming in. Cubs lead 2-1. We're in the 8th inning on the south side. And we'll be back.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going and going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avodart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avodart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avodart.
Okay, people, raise your hand if you're sick of having to share school books. Yeah. Raise your hand if you think your classroom has too many kids in it. Yeah. Raise your hand if you think it's time for someone to do something about it. Yeah. Raise your hand if you can vote.
If grown-ups don't speak up to improve public schools, who will? Learn how you can make your voice heard at GiveKidsGoodSchools.org.
Right-hander Nick Massett. Again, his first major league start. He got his second career win at Wrigley Field. Back in the bullpen. Given up 17 earned runs over his last 17 2/3 innings. And again, the White Sox have the worst earned run average out of their bullpen in the majors at .587, tied for the most blown saves with 13. This is Konerko in foul territory, and Soriano and the Cubs retired quietly in the 8th inning. Bottom 8 coming up, 2-1.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
So you'll let me test drive your network, and if you're not the best...
We'll pay for your calls.
Really?
You're good. America's most reliable. Well, we'll see about that.
So what are we in the mood for? I'll know it when I see it. Okay, well, I think I just did.
New 5-cheese tortelloni with shrimp, stuffed pastas with Italian cheeses and a garlic seafood sauce, or tortelloni with sausage starting at $9.95 at Olive Garden.
Strong, like family. Strong, like friends. Strong like tradition. For years, life's strongest moments have been served on Chinette. Chinette, life is served.
America's funniest home videos, weeknights on Superstation WGN.
Now the upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule sponsored by Comcast. Rest of this series right here on WGN Sports. Tuesday, Rockies and the Cubs. The Cubs and Sox baseball in HD sponsored by Comcast. Special post-game show tomorrow after the noon start. Bob and I will be back to call Sunday's game. 12:30 was showdown in the city for Game 3.
Well, apparently Lou Piniella was just congratulating Carlos Zambrano on getting that double play ball to get out of the bottom half of the 7th inning, because here he is. He thought that perhaps his afternoon was over. Well, he's thrown a lot of pitches in his last 3 starts. We mentioned he's been really good, but he's also run up some big pitch counts. 117, 128, 123. And that's his 100th pitch of the ball game.
Gets the out, 3-1.
We talk about it all the time with Carlos Zambrano, however. Pitch count alone is not a real good indicator of how hard he's worked in a given ball game. He's such a horse. Great physical condition at this stage of his career. Yeah, we joked a little bit about missing Carlos's bat in the lineup today, but you have to wonder if he doesn't have a little more energy out there on the mound, because he hasn't had to take those at-bats and run the bases today.
In his first 13 starts, he went beyond 7 innings just twice. But he's now gone beyond 7 his last 3. Lou's not going to take him out. What was he looking for?
Well, apparently Lou saw something, or Larry Rothschild from the bench saw something they didn't like in Carlos's delivery or his body language after the delivery. He had to run over there and cover first base on that last play, and Yeah, perhaps Lou just saw something that he didn't like. He wanted to go out and make sure Carlos was okay. Now, when the manager makes that kind of a visit to the mound just to check on the health of the pitcher, the umpire will go out there to make sure that he understands every word that's said in that conversation. It cannot be a strategically oriented meeting. Do you think you can get this guy? What are you going to start him with? It can't be anything like that at all. It just has to be, how are you feeling? Are you feeling pain? Are you okay? Strictly about the health of the pitcher, nothing about strategy. And if it is a visit to the mound just to check on the status of the pitcher's health, it's not counted as a visit to the mound. So Lou still has 2 visits in hand.
Well, one more strikeout and Zambrano will tie his career high. Boy, a very comfortable day to pitch. Sun not a factor. It's not hot. And he has breezed through much of this contest. White Sox closer Bobby Jenks watching out in left.
Now, most pitchers will tell you this is the kind of day they like to pitch. Not a bright sunlit day, very comfortable conditions, but yet as they work out there on the mound, they're able to get loose and stay loose. They don't have to worry about a cold wind blowing down their neck or excessive sun beating on the back of their neck.
A little bit inside. Sends it to a full count with the 9-hitter Uribe in the on-deck circle. 2-1 Cubs. Both runs for the visitors in the first inning and solo home runs. Got him. Called strike 3. Ball popped out of the mitt. Bowen applies the tag. And he has tied his career best. 4th time in Carlos's career he has fanned 12.
Not sure where Josh Fields was going. Perhaps he felt this pitch was high. Belt high strike that just pops out of the mid of Rob Bowen. He's right there to pounce on it and tag him out.
Carlos has gotten a second wind here. Knee buckler in there on a slider. Remember the last time out, he went the distance but suffered the loss. 1-0. That was a 2-hitter. He's working on a 3-hitter right now. Here he comes, pulled foul. Pardon me. Pretty spacious dugout. A lot of room to maneuver. Another ball pulled foul by Uribe. In some ways, the decision in the American League in a game like this gets maybe even more difficult. As Pagan comes in, Fontenot and Lee are there, but it's the right fielder to make the catch. We'll tell you why when we come back. Will Lou give Carlos a chance to complete it? It's 2-1.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares even farther. Visit southwest.com.
My country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty of the icy.
This 4th of July, the people of Southwest Airlines join the people of the United States of America as we celebrate our independence.
From every mountainside, let freedom wave.
free to celebrate your birthday, America.
Who's counting on your brakes today? At Midas, lifetime guaranteed brake pads or shoes are just $89.95 per axle installed. Be safe.
99-cent root beer float. Sonic's got it, others don't. For a cool, frothy summertime favorite, drive in tonight for Sonic's new root beer float. Now just 99 cents. Because Sonic is open till midnight or later, and it's even sweeter after dark.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Poor little bubbly. They're at the old ballpark. Cubs 2, White Sox 1. And top it off.
Drop a raspberry in the bottom of the glass. You're good to go.
Strike one on Fontenot. All right, back to my thought on where it becomes a little bit maybe more difficult in the American League. And I think it was Mike Scioscia who was trying to make the case for it sometimes being more difficult to manage in the American League than in the National League. If you had a pitcher spot coming up, you know, in the 7th or 8th, it becomes almost routine for a manager to take out a starting pitcher who gets up to 100, 105 pitches, whatever. But in the case of Zambrano today, he's at 113. You had Lou already go out to check on him, maybe health-wise, in the last inning. You've had relievers throwing in each of the last 2 innings. It's all about the effectiveness of the pitcher. What makes it even, I mean, it gives you a choice, I guess. Sometimes you don't really have a choice. Pitcher spot comes up, you take him out, you put a reliever in.
I guess I can see that point, but other than that, Mike Scioscia is going to have a hard time convincing me it's tougher to manage in the American League than the National League. Clean single into center field for Mike Fontenot.
More high fives.
Fooled once before. Thought Zambrano was coming out of the ball game. Just some high fives from his teammates as he heads for a seat on that first base side dugout.
Well,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's a good way to put it. We're not in the prediction business.
I mean, getting back to your point once again about the American League and National League and tough decisions with your starting pitcher, if you look at Mark Burley, probably would have come out of this game in the bottom of the 6th inning for a pinch hitter. The number 9 spot led off the inning. That would normally be the pitcher. And trailing in the ballgame at that point 2-0, you have to believe that Ozzie would have gone with a pinch hitter to try to jumpstart his offense, and Burley would have been out of the game after 6. As it is, he pitched 7 very good innings today, gave up only the 4 base hits, didn't walk a batter, 2 solo home runs in the first inning. But the decision, as you said, would have been made right there because you need to score runs to win the ball game, and chances are Mark Burley's not going to do anything to help you offensively.
Check swing, and they will appeal down to first base. Ed Hickok said he held up.
Get a real good look at the check swing from this angle. That keeps that bat head back there. Good call.
The next pitch inside. Ball strike total now at 3-1. The DH on deck. Let's say goodbye to that after Sunday. Fontenot running. That is ball 4. Time now for our Bud Light fan cam from the south side. Our Chicago buddies, the Red Walls, with a new track, Memories. Not John Lennon. Sure sounds like him. The Red Walls guests today on the WGN Morning News. Part of our Bud Light fan camp. Always worth it.
Yeah, the Red Walls were up early this morning. Had a chance to catch them while I was having my morning coffee and reading the paper. Unexpected treat early in the morning.
Another opportunity. That door is open for the Cubs. 2 on, no outs. Ramirez a hitter. Massage first pitch. Comebacker single into center. Fontenot going to be sent. He will score 3-1. Ramirez with 2 of the 3 RBIs today. Well, not at 100%, but he can swing that bat. And again, that thick grass really helps the runners on this play, Bob. That ball again died as it got out near Luis Torrero. Made it an easy send for Mike Quade.
A great approach by Rami, going right back up the middle of the field. Luis Torrero in center field is very fast and has a cannon for a throwing arm, but that outfield grass just gobbles up that ball, giving Fontenot a couple extra steps to get around third base and score without a play.
So the White Sox bullpen getting touched up again today, and I think Ramirez is coming out. Jock Jones is going to pinch run. We hope just precautionary, and there's nothing wrong with the Cubs' third baseman. We'll have a pitching change. High fives in the Cubs dugout. They lead 3-1.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's just, it's jammed or something.
What are you doing?
Step back. What are you doing in my car?
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly from Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Mike Fontenot has now scored or averaged a run a game on this road trip. 4 runs in 4 games.
Ramirez with the clean single up the middle of the field. Not only good speed from Fontenot, but got a great jump off second base. Picture perfect turn of third base to propel himself toward home plate and scores without a throw. Very fundamentally sound player.
Ryan Buckvich is the new pitcher for the White Sox. Again, he was born in Naperville, went to high school in Brandon, Mississippi. Former Royal and Ranger. Bunted by DeRosa, came back up and hit him. He came back up and hit him in the face. Right in the chin.
Right on the point of the chin that time. DeRosa, normally a very adept bunter, that time just fouled it straight down off home plate. It came up and hit him in the chops.
One in. Lee the runner at second. Jones the pinch runner at first. He gets it down, and the throw will go to Iguchi, covering the bag at first. Sacrifice bunt. And we want to send out get well wishes to Al Hall watching the ball game today. Feel better, Al. And we appreciate all the emails. Cubs in the Sox. And Rob Bowen batting with 2 in scoring position. And Ozzie coming out again.
Yeah, back-to-back switch hitters here in the Cubs lineup. Rob Bowen followed by Angel Pagan. Just a little bit of strategy talk there by Ozzie Guillen. You do have a base open over there at first, which would set up a potential inning-ending double play. Of course, you have to consider Pagan's speed, who would be the following hitter after Bowen. Tough to double him up.
You see the infield drawn in for the White Sox. Cubs already up by 2. Bowen without a hit today. Kick and the pitch. Ball 1. Well, congrats to Mark Holloman with Double-A Tennessee. And the Cubs organization pitched a 7-inning no-hitter in the first game of a doubleheader against Huntsville on Thursday. Also hit a 2-run homer in the 5th inning. That's a pretty good day.
Hit a homer, shut him out, you can't lose.
Razor shines. And Jim Thome. Next pitch. Well, 3 balls, no strikes on the patient Rob Bowen. Only seen him here in a Cubs uniform for a couple of days, but he is in no hurry to make contact. He's worked some deep counts, walked twice at Texas.
And for a big guy, he has a very compact swing. He lets the ball travel a long time. He can wait a long time to recognize the pitch before pulling the trigger. Unfortunately, when he's made contact, he hasn't had a lot of success up to this point, but you have to like his eye up there at the plate.
Bases full. And Bob, it also seems like it's a situation where Bowen sees Ozzie go out to the mound. He knows first base is open. And there are 2 approaches. You can expand your strike zone a little bit. Or if they're going to give you first base, you don't expand your zone and you give the guy behind you the opportunity. That's what Bowen did. Thornton coming in. We'll be back in the 9th.
Doctor, could you sign these, please?
To my 2 biggest fans on the next Scrubs.
Brilliant! Nothing, sir. Anyone could have made that call.
It's a matter of life.
You told me I'd be dead by now.
Well, you're not. So sue me.
I am.
And death.
I'm chucked it on my patient.
How is that guy doing?
Not great.
Oh, and a lawsuit.
Oh, come on! A good lawyer couldn't win this case.
Next Scrubs. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern.
At Sacred Heart Hospital, we treat patients like family.
Giving each individual the kind of personal attention you won't find anywhere else.
Carla?
Our doctors are among the best in the nation.
Claire! I'm alive!
And we're the leading edge in diagnostics.
Well, either this kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
In our home, you don't just get better, you get the best.
And every employee takes pride in his work.
Planning on making this worth my while?
Scrubs, weeknights at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Well, Jim Tianis has found us in the booth here, and while Bob looks a lot bigger than I am, just know that he's a lot closer to the camera. So it's not quite to scale.
That's right.
Exactly right. Cubs leading 3-1, bases loaded here in the 9th inning, and Ozzie has been using a lot of relievers today. He's just trying to find that right combination.
Well, I think in a lot of senses, we saw it earlier this year with Lou Piniella and Larry Rothschild trying to find the right mix out of that bullpen, and the White Sox have struggled with their relief pitching this year, and taking an opportunity here today against the Cubs to try to mix and match and see if somebody can't come in out of that Sox bullpen and get the job done.
Pagan trying to thwart the plan. 3 on, a run in. Only 1 out. The pitch. Good rip. He fouled it back, then lost the bat. Already seen a couple of 4-run homers at Wrigley Field. Derek Lee and A.J. Przinsky. Derek Lee with a pinch hit grand slam. Not caught. They get the out at the plate. The first base umpire, Ed Hickox, with the call. That ball was trapped by Konerko. So he goes 3-2, a fielder's choice for Pagan as he splintered the lumber.
Watch how deliberate not only Paul Konerko but A.J. Przinsky at home plate. They know they can't turn a double play on this ball. They want to make sure they get the out at home plate. Thornton had to duck out of the way as Konerko's throw comes home. He was headed over to cover first base. White Sox just make sure they get the out at the plate and then get out of the way.
Still loaded, 2 outs. Kicking a pitch. Fastball strike. So left mom at home since she's a Cubs fan.
Well, we still love you, Mom.
Yep. .95 that time, but it missed. Toward the hole, base hit. Cubs will try to get 2. Here's a throw. It's offline. Gets by the catcher, and the other runners will move up. So Jones and Bowen in. Felix P.A. with a 2-run single. It's 5-1. There'll be an error as well. The error will be on Makoviak on the throw.
Nothing fancy, just a little bouncer through the left side. Uribe was cheating up the middle of the field a little bit. Makoviak's throw to the plate is way wide, and you can see Thornton standing out in the middle of the infield watching the play. His job is to back up home plate. There was nobody there. That allowed base runners to advance into scoring position.
One of those runs charged to Massett, the other to Buckvich. Three big insurance tallies in the 9th inning to make it 5-1. A roller to third. Fields across the diamond for the out. Bottom 9 coming up. The Cubs lead the White Sox 5-1.
To seize a deadly super virus, Jack goes undercover.
If Jack
power does not intercept the virus, then we are dealing with an international crisis.
And discovers a bitter enemy is back.
Jack's not who you think he is. He's setting you up.
And she's working against him.
I know you're still with CTU.
Next 24, Saturday at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Answer my 3 questions and I'll let you pass.
Are you kidding?
What's large as a mountain but as small as a... Hey, how many people you got in there?
8.
Whoa, is that a DVD player?
Maybe.
Do I smell cookies?
Hit the gas. That's 3.
Beloved by humans, envied by trolls. The Pilot from Honda.
3 big insurance runs. Felix PA with a 2-run single earlier in the inning. Aramis Ramirez with an RBI hit. So Ryan Dempster will start the 9th. It's not a save situation. And he'll try to get the final 3 outs. And he'll face a pinch hitter. Alex Cintrone will bat for Torero.
Keith Dempster's numbers on the season. He has really been good lately. Went back to trusting his fastball in the low 90s with movement to get ahead in the count, then expand the zone with the splitter and the slider. Cintrone, the pinch hitter, 0 for 5 on the season off of Ozzy's bench.
First pitch. A strike. Took a little something off the fastball. Cintrone, a switch batter. Seen a lot of those guys today. Again, the Cubs with 3 switchies in their lineup. Pop foul out of play. 39,046, the 6th sellout for the White Sox this year. Many Sox fans headed for the exits after the Cubs got the 3 in the top of this inning. There's been a little bit of a changing of the guard in the Cubs starting rotation. Early in the year, you had Lilly and Marquis and Hill pitching extremely well, and the one guy who was scuffling was Carlos Zambrano. Wade Miller struggled before he went on the disabled list. Well, now the ace is pitching like the ace, and the other guys have gone through a little bit of a down spell.
That's the nature of this game. Very few guys start the season hot and stay hot all summer long. Everybody's going to go through peaks and valleys. You just hope to ham and egg it so that when one guy's cold, there's somebody there to pick him up.
Gucci and then Tomey in the 9th. 2-2. It foul. Harold Baines tried to jump out of the way, jumped straight up, and the ball hit him.
Harold's timing off just a little bit.
As he was coming down, the ball was hitting him in the leg.
He used to stay in the air a lot longer when he was younger.
More hover time.
Yeah.
It's 3-2. Well, you go back to that game at Shea Stadium, and Dempster could not hold a similar 5-1 lead. And that 3-2 pitch, it's Ed Rapuano saying here, if you didn't break a bat, you can't go back.
This is all part of that speed up effort we talked about with Major League Baseball to pick up the pace of game so guys don't have to walk all the way back to the dugout to get a new bat.
Up in the air. Felix P.A. calling. I don't recall what he was throwing on 3-2 pitches, but he's going with a fastball here in these big counts. He's not messing around with the split or the slider. With a big 4-run lead, he's sticking with that heat.
Well, I think that's the right approach. I mean, Ryan Dempster's talked about it many times since his struggles early in the season. I throw a good fastball that has a lot of movement. Why am I even messing around early in the count? I fall behind guys, and then they look for fastballs, and that's when anybody's fastball becomes hittable. But if you get ahead with strike one, it changes the entire complexion of the at-bat.
We have cameras all over the ballpark. Well, and I think the other thing about it, intent and approach does matter. And I think your manager gives you a little more leeway. If you're missing with your fastball, that's one thing. But if you're messing around and throwing other pitches and walking guys, that's when your skipper's going to go throw the fastball. I mean, some days you just don't have it. You don't have the command. And he's got a very good sinker. All fastballs, and it's 3-2.
Well, yeah, after falling behind 3-0, comes right back, pounds the strike zone down low with a couple of good sinkers.
Three-two pitch.
I mean, that was a perfect example right there. That ball started as a fat strike on the inside part of the plate and just dive bomb down and in. All Iguchi could do with that pitch is pull it foul. I mean, this one starts as a very hittable strike. The movement down and in, and all Iguchi can do is pull it over into his own dugout.
Called strike three. Iguchi frozen. He thought it was ball four.
Comeback sinker headed toward the outside corner. It's near the outside corner.
Dempster gets the call. Big shift put on with Thome at the plate. Three infielders on the right side. Our producer, Pete Thome. Skip Ellison, our director. Our associate producer, Mark Brady. Executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Angie Adocchio, our stage manager in the booth. Our production assistant, Ashley Strid. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes. Our studio coordinator back at WGN is Christina Ballas. Thanks as well to our great WGN Cubs crew who made the trip to the South Side with us today. Games 2 and 3 will also be right here on WGN. Cub fans wanted that one. I think Thome can hit one over the head of Felix PA and keep it in the ballpark. He is very deep out there in center. Dempster's 2-2. Ground ball. Gobbled up by Fontenot. Cubs win. Zambrano and Dempster combined on a 3-hitter, and they beat the White Sox 5-1 to open up this series. They've now won 3 of 4 in the season set. Some timely hitting early and late. 2 in the first on the home runs by Soriano and Ramirez, and then 3 more in the ninth. The White Sox only run a Paul Konerko solo blast in the 7th inning. The final score from the South Side: Cubs 5, White Sox 1.
I'm not saying it's your fault, but it's just, it's jammed or something.
What are you doing?
Step back. What are you doing in my car?
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines, you can fly from Chicago Midway to Long Island for just $39 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
I woke up in the middle of the night, terrified. Someone tried to come in our house. Fortunately, we had an ADT security system. The alarm scared him off.
Mrs. Parker, this is ADT. We're receiving an alarm. Are you all right?
Yes, we're okay.
Help is on the way.
I never thought this would happen to us, but I'm glad ADT was there, watching out for my family.
Don't take chances. Take control of your family's security with ADT, America's #1 home security company. ADT helps blanket your home with an invisible wall of protection, helping to keep you safe from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide. Call now and save more than $250 on ADT's family package, plus special discounts for AARP members. You could also save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. And only ADT gives you a theft protection guarantee. Call now and take control of your family's safety. ADT, always there.
Five runs, 7 hits, no errors, 4 left for the Cubs. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error, 2 stranded for the White Sox. Carlos Zambrano now with his 8th win against 6 losses. Mark Burley 4-4 as the Cubs beat the White Sox 5-1. Alfonso Soriano with us now down live on the field. And you like Fridays. 6 home runs on Friday, and you keep leading off the ballgame with hits. A big home run to start it today. Nice job.
Thank you.
So we're going to make sure that no pie in the face here.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. Your first action in this ballpark as a member of the Cubs, what was the atmosphere like today?
Oh, man, it's great. You know, the more important is Zambrano threw a very good game, so and we got the victory today. I think that's very important for the team.
I got to ask you, Fonzie, when you see Carlos Zambrano pitching the way he was today, it makes you glad you're on his team, right? He was really tough today.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. You know, I'm part of the Chicago Cubs just because, you know, Zambrano, he got very nasty stuff, so he pitched very well today.
All right, Felix P.A., he has really shown flashes of brilliance, a big hit in the 9th inning. What kinds of things do you guys talk about? I mean, do you wait for him to ask you about things at this level, or are you giving him a lot of advice on a daily basis?
He asked some questions, so I give you some motivation too. So because you know he's the first year in the big league, so he knows how to experience in the big league. But he's a great kid, and he knows what he has to do. So and he learned hitting in the big league. So I think he got a lot of talent, and he'll be okay.
Alfonso, congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
That's Alfonso Soriano. He had 2 hits, including a leadoff home run for the Cubs today, part of our Budweiser Plays of the Game. That was a leadoff shot, and then a few batters later, Aramis Ramirez coming off the disabled list, making it 2-0. Cubs would not score again until the 9th, and they would add 3 insurance runs as they get the 5-1 victory. Our next broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station. Tomorrow afternoon, Game 2 against the Sox. Hawk and DJ will be on the microphone beginning at Noon right here on WGN Sports. Bob and I will be back to bring you Sunday's broadcast beginning at 12:30. Our 60th year of bringing you Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Baseball like it ought to be. Once again, our final score today, the Cubs 5, the White Sox 1. So now for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, Bob Borwald, and our entire crew, this is Len Casper. Inviting you to stay tuned. The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is next.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Budweiser, who thanks you for being a designated driver. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
It's a big world, and it's my job to shrink it. I'm a model maker. We shrink buildings, we shrink landscapes. I make it really small. So when my doctor said that my going was because of an enlarging prostate, I said, how can we bring it down to size? He said, Avodart. He said, Avodart's different because over time, it actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms over the long term. Other medicines don't treat the cause because they don't shrink the prostate.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your doctor can determine if your symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not prostate cancer. So have regular prostate exams. Ask your doctor about Avodart today. It's your growing problem. It's our job to shrink it. Avodart.
Why does that bother you?
Why does it bother me? So easy a caveman can do it?
Well, it's just a commercial.
Okay. Well, what if it said, Geico.com, so easy a therapist can do it?
Well, that commercial wouldn't make sense to me.
Why not?
Well, therapists are...
Are what? Smart? My mother's calling. I'll put it on speaker.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The tears, the talent, and the outtakes. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN. This is the Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show, brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevrolet dealers.
Good start to the weekend. The Cubs are now 2-2 on this road trip. 5-1 the final score. 7 hits, no errors, 4 left for the Cubs. The White Sox are run on 3 hits, 1 error, 2 left. Carlos Zambrano has been outstanding. His last 4 starts, 3-1 with a 1.14, 4 earned runs in almost 32 innings with 35 strikeouts. We'll get all the highlights as the 10th inning show rolls along on the south side.
I am an American Idol.
You don't look like an American Idol.
These contestants were voted off the show, but now they'll get a second chance.
Blew us away. I think you did a great job.
Only one will make it to the top 10.
She sings her heart out. She's got a chance.
The rest
It's karaoke once again.
go home for good. American Idol Rewind.
The moment of truth. We have made a unanimous decision.
Sunday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown.
Drive it forever. Fast-acting Roundup. So effective, it even beats the weather. Roundup kills to the root, and it's so fast, nothing stops it, not even the rain. Roundup. Faster, better, rainproof.
Putting the tarp on the field in case of some rain a little bit later. The Cubs beat the White Sox today 5-1. You like the runs early and you like them late, and the Cubs got both today.
Well, you really like the early runs against a ball club that's been struggling to score runs in the White Sox.
Well, the Cubs and the Sox today, and Alfonso Soriano, right off the bat, he has a hit in the first inning, his first at bat of every game on this road trip. This time a home run. His 13th of the year, made it 1-0. Aramis Ramirez coming off the disabled list. The left knee is not 100%, but he had a big day. A couple of RBIs, home run making it 2-0. Carlos Zambrano, I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. 8 innings, allowing just 3 hits on the day, 1 run. Tied his career high with 12 strikeouts, just 1 walk. He was in trouble just a couple of times. Got the calls as well. He was around the strike zone all afternoon. Paul Konerko did hit this one out left center field for his 12th home run. He has always done well against the Cubs, but that's as close as the White Sox would get. Again, 8 strong innings for Zambrano. Then in the 9th inning, the Cubs adding on. Ramirez back through the box with an RBI hit. Mike Fontenot scoring. Ramirez would be removed for a pinch runner. Then the rookie Felix Pie through the hole on the left side. 2 more coming in. That made it 5-1. Took away a save opportunity for Ryan Dempster, but no big deal. He goes 1-2-3 in the 9th inning. A fly out to center, a strikeout, and then Jim Thome against the pull shift. Rounding out to Fontenot, and the Cubs beat the White Sox 5-1. Cubs now 12-16 all time here on the South Side. Once again, the final 5-1. We'll have more in a moment.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show is brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
What's so funny? It's supposed to be a parrot, not a carrot, you moron. Listen up! 3 Bud Lights for everyone, if this doesn't leave the room.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
You know, you only need one eye patch.
That's cold.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice. A clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polish or wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Ice is so advanced, you can use it in the hot sun with outstanding results. Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Switch to Valvoline's Max Life, and there's no telling how long your car will keep going. Max Life not only protects against friction, but also leaks, deposits, and sludge, the 4 major causes of high-mileage engine breakdown. Drive it forever.
Here's today's sweet defensive play of the game, brought to you by Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger Restaurants. Big 5-4-3 double play to get Zambrano out of the 7th inning. Die hit into it. Again, the rest of this series will be right here on WGN Sports. Hawk and DJ tomorrow. Bob and I back on Sunday. We'll see you then.
The Chevy Dealers 10th Inning Show has been brought to you in part by Culver's Restaurants, home of butter burgers and fresh frozen custard.
Why did you do that, Eric? Oh, your eyes hurt?
Nothing is safe from the terrifying twosome. Trains.
Your trains. Your car mats.
Car mats.
Personal clothes.
Kirsten's clothes.
Your bed.
The bed.
All over the walls.
The walls.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? I'm making a tape of this so Mommy can see it later.
The critics call Whip Scream terrifying, horrifying, scarier than beaches. Whip Scream. Rated R for really sticky.
Make it all nice the way it was.
In the playroom, no one can hear Whipped Scream.
What you're doing today, Dan?
Bike riding.
You know, there are many milestones in a child's life. Their first steps, losing their first tooth, learning how to ride a two-wheeled bike. Parents, don't you look back and wish you had videotaped